Hey guys, I'm back with my end of year video, my top 25 heavy metal albums of 2024. I nearly forgot what year it was, so yeah, great first 10 seconds, back in business. So first I've got a few things where I don't have a physical copy yet. Either I've ordered it and it's not arrived, or I've been a complete poser and not ordered it yet, but didn't want to discriminate. So first I want to talk about Dipygus. Their third album came out this year. The vinyl version was with Crypto the Wizard here in London, so that's what I got, of course, with the nice Obi strip and all that good stuff. Really cool. I'm not going to talk too much about each record because I either have in other videos or I've reviewed them or something. But yeah, their best stuff yet. I think Headsplit did the tape and Expansion Abyss the CD maybe. Next, Cryptic Brood from Germany, also their third full length, if memory serves. Really killer stuff. Just waiting on my trade with Lycanthropic Brood, which is the label they are on. Great third album. And now I can't remember if it's their second or third album actually, from Inconcessus Lux Lucis. They put out a blinding album this year, kind of black and heavy metal. Really killer stuff. I've got their last album. I still need to get the new one. It keeps slipping my mind. But that's definitely on the to-do list. Next, my friends from Belgium, we have Butcher with their killer third album. I think everyone had very high expectations after 666 Goats, and they really lived up to it. It's, Black Speed Fury, absolutely killer stuff. And then some more butchery. We have the debut album of Hell Butcher from Sweden, featuring Niflheim's Hell Butcher, of course. The brothers kind of split and did two bands. And yeah, I really like the new Hell Butcher record. I think it sounds exactly how a new Niflheim album would have sounded. And next we have Baphomet from Japan. Really killer Black Speed stuff. Kind of punky, but not too punky for me, at least a man who's not super well versed in the world of punk. And then finally, for the things that I'm not showing you so you don't have to look at my face on its own too much longer, is the new Midnight. Of course it was going to be on here. Much like with the Dipygus one, I have it, and I have a fly case of records. We're in a small place, so I'm not quite sure whereabouts I left it, but I definitely own it. But yeah, anyway, these are things that I definitely do have in my possession and ease of access. With a single CD, we have another Belgian band. Belgium's really taking representation already. We have Scavenger with Beyond the Bells. 80s speed metal legends came back several decades after their debut with this album that's an absolute ripper. So yeah, very impressive. Now I'm just going to start grabbing handfuls of records. These are in no particular order, I should say, except for my album of the year pick, which will be last. And don't skip ahead because that's just stupid. You're going to miss a lot of cool stuff. We have Reversed. I did a really cool interview with these guys recently as well, with their first album, Wildly Possessed. Really killer, perfect death metal in my book. Really lives up to the EP. It's a bit brighter sounding than the EP maybe, but I love both. I'm happy we have two different sounds. I don't want just the same thing over and over again. Another British band, we have Slime Lord. I remember buying a very DIY is probably the friendliest way to put it. CDR from these guys at their second ever show, opening for Tomb Mold. Really cool guys. Obviously, they're a bunch. I think 4 out of 5 maybe are in Cryptic Shift, and I've really liked everything Slime Lord have done, and this is the absolute pinnacle of their career so far. Next, we have Invocation from Chile. Their new album on Iron Bonehead with a really long title, The Archaic Sanctuary Ritual Body. No, does that say pastime? Postures, sorry. I was thinking that can't say pastimes. I'm doing great at this. I'm so bad at titles. But anyway, this is just really cool, evil, kind of charnel death metal. Here's an album that's made... I've seen a few friends putting up their lists a few weeks ago, and I was really glad I didn't because of this album. We have Demon Bitch with Master of the Games. This is the jankiest heavy metal, and I mean that in the best way. It's untainted by kind of the modern reservations in playing music, and it's just wild and free and crazy, and I just can't get enough of this one. I've listened to it many times this week. And another third album. This seems to be the third album's year, but Concrete Winds put out their self-titled third album, and as much as I love everything they've done, I know some people just swear by the first album or whatever. I think this is easily my favorite album that they've done, just because it takes what I loved before and just makes it even more kind of powerful. The production's insane on this thing. Really killer stuff. Now we have an album that I think some of these are gonna be on quite a few lists, and this is one of them. The second Black Curse album on Sepulchral Voice. This is Burning in Celestial Poison. Now it took the kind of Titan Blood school of death metal from the first album and just went further into the abyss in every conceivable way. Really love this one. Next we have Adversarial from Canada. Now I didn't review this one at the time and I have no idea why. It must have just simply slipped through the cracks, which happens, but Solitude with the Eternal is really evil, chaotic death metal. It's got a bit of a bestial feel, but yeah, this is superb stuff, and yeah, really killer stuff. Very impressive live too. Next we have Abhorration, Norwegian thrashing death, should I say. You know, very much the Necrovore, early Morbid Angel school of death metal, where it's still thrashy. It feels very evil, and there's some kind of South American feel to this thing. This is Demonolatry, Invictus Productions. That label seems to be dominating this year, which you will see and probably have seen already a bit. But yeah, very impressed. Huge step up from the demo, which I already really liked. Now we have Acero Letal from Chile with their... Now, I'm not doing EPs, but I'm going to call this a mini LP just because it's on 12-inch, so it's an album enough to be an album, in my opinion. Legiones or however you want to say it. It's just speeding heavy metal, really fun. Continues from the demo on 7-inch perfectly, and yeah, really cool stuff. Really like the energy on that one. Next stack of records. Hopefully didn't spoil anything or flash anyone, otherwise YouTube will crucify me. We have Stress Angel. This was a band, I really loved their first album. And I think that this one I like even more as well. It's sometimes it's a risk when I really like something, a band comes back and I'm like, eh. But yeah, I really like this one. I find the artwork interesting. I don't really like it, but it almost feels like they've got an artwork to go, let's make this the least Instagram friendly photo. So, you know, people buy it for the music and not just as like a, hey, look, I'm so cool, I have this, you know, underground death metal record. That's what I like to think anyway. Some backstory I've just made up, and I love their logo. If a logo has a tail or wings or anything, it's usually a good sign, you know, like, or horns like this Death Hammer logo here. But yeah, Stress Angel, killer stuff. Now we have the fourth album from Vulture. Love these guys. My only complaint with this band is that I want them to do another Lucifer record, but Vulture just seems to be doing so great that they don't have the time. But yeah, really killer stuff. Sentinels, probably my favorite Vulture album to date. Actually, I love their thrash stuff, but I'm loving the heavy metal direction that they have taken their material. Next, we have Spectral Voice with Sporagmos. I know this is going to be on a lot of lists, and you know, I like to think hopefully there's some things on this list that maybe, you know, might not be everywhere, but yeah, I think Spectral Voice deservedly very talked about band, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. While Eroded Corridors of Unbeing is still probably my favourite, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. I'd say they went from putting out, you know, a pretty much perfect album to a very close to perfect album, so it's all good in my book. Next we have Switzerland's Amethyst. Now I love these guys. They just out of nowhere put out one of the strongest EPs of recent years. Played some killer shows like Keep It True, Muscle Rock, Trueheim, The Usual Suspects, and then right on its tail put out a debut album, which, you know, I think maybe a few of us were like, oh, is it going to be a flash in the pan and it's not going to quite live up to the EP, and instantly felt ridiculous as soon as we heard this thing, because it's just, I think maybe even better. Like Serenade Under the Rising Moon is probably my favorite Amethyst song. You know, and that's saying something. I really have not got a single song by these guys that at this point I don't love. Funnily enough, the single Embers on the Loose, I was like, the first time I heard it, had mixed feelings about it, and then when I heard it in the context of the LP, I was like, you know, it all clicked, and yeah, Throw Down the Gauntlet by Amethyst is just perfect heavy metal in my opinion. Next we have a cool Czech band. I saw these guys in Thrash Nightmare. Me, my partner, and my best friend all saw them, and we were all so impressed. We all bought the LP, so there was 3 in the huge bag of records we were all lugging home, but deservedly so. Damnation of the Beast, you know, these are some young dudes playing evil, black speeding thrash perfectly. You know, Show No Mercy should be felt, as you can see it in the cover a little bit, with this kind of Minotaur-esque creature, and yeah, really impressive stuff. I'm saying Morgul because I always thought that that's how it is in Lord of the Rings, but now I've noticed the umlaut, I'm like, oh, it's probably Morgul, so yeah, my bad. Next we have the new Inexorable Nexus by Diocletian. I'm probably in a minority of people who likes pretty much everything this band has done, but this is a huge step up from the last album, and probably my second favourite Diocletian album. Like, I think Gasundrian is my number one, but this might have even be sort of equal second with Doom Cult for me. I really love this one. Of course, War of All Against All is up there as well, but yeah, just insane stuff, and the production is killer. It's the tour edition from when they came to London with Black Curse this year. And now the penultimate record. We have Adoria, Bleed on My Teeth. This is just everything that the anticipation for this album kind of promised. You know, the first Adoria album I always thought was very good, and then the second blows it out of the water. You know, it's been well over a decade. When was the last record? I want to say like 2008 or 10. So it's, you know, been 14, 15, 16 years maybe. If, you know, I'm possibly wrong on that. And then they come back. You know, I've seen them at a fair few shows stuff from here in London. So, you know, they're not too rare of a band to see, although I always catch them, of course, because it would be criminal not to. They're one of the best live acts in extreme metal, bar none. You know, I was at the launch show for this album with Imperator, Massacre, and Verkolak from Ireland, and that was, you know, this is easily one of my favourite live shows and albums this year. Bleed on My Teeth is savage death metal, as, you know, as evil and untamed and feral as it can possibly be. And yeah, really happy to have this. I actually think it's the best Adoria album. And now we have my album of the year, but first, I'm going to blue ball you all by promoting my own stuff, because I can. So, it's been a really killer year for me. I've done the new Shrieks from the Abyss, issue 5, my fanzine. I've done a whole bunch of stuff on my website and here on YouTube. I think it's been one of my more active years for YouTube in recent years, considering everything. Been some killer shows and festivals in, you know, Denmark, Germany, the Czech Republic, obviously a whole ton here in England. And musically, I've put out some of my favourite things I've ever done, like the new Maniacs single has had a great response. I'm really proud of that one. My new band, which we're just going to finish off our first EP and take the world by storm. The new Razorforge 7-inch, which in terms of physical releases is my favourite thing I've ever made. You know, the 7-inch with the new song featuring members of Iron Griffin and Witching Hour, two of my favourite bands, helping me out, and a Metal Lucifer cover. And I did guest vocals on the new Abyssial record, which is, you know, something so far away from anything I would create musically. You know, it's kind of a genreless, but in a cool way. And yeah, I was very pleased to be a part of that. And it's, you know, it's really cool. You know, you can get that on vinyl or CD from most places. And of course, the first demo of Dungeon Shaker, the cruel and wicked heavy metal project of me and some friends. Again, Oscar from Iron Griffin playing drums on that one with us too as well. So getting to work with him a bunch has been cool. Having real drums on things is cool. So yeah, it's been a really great year, and thank you everyone who supported it. And if one album has really driven me this year to the quality of heavy metal, it's Attic, Return of the Witchfinder, which is the glariest fucking cover I could have picked. Well done me. On Van Records. All 3 albums this band have done have been perfect in my book, and this is no different. I know J-Dog talks about this one a whole bunch, and yeah, I'm just blown away by how perfect this album is. You know, it's the if Merciful Fate could put out an album that was exactly how I wanted it to be right now, it would sound like that, but also without discarding the band's own merits. You know, there's some Dissection and Bathory in there. There's some Niflheim. There's definitely some more extreme touches coming through. Maybe even a bit of Demistris Dom Satanas coming into the sound. And yeah, it's just killer. And that is my top 25 albums of the year. And, it was hard to do because I could have easily done 50, maybe even 100. But, I want this to be hard because I really want it to be the elite of the elite. And I think that I've put that together in this video. And I hope you guys go and buy the records because that's what this is all about. And if you want to support me, I don't do the whole Patreon and that, but, go and buy my band's 7-inch, go and buy my fanzine, or I have a coffee link in the bio, so if people just want to throw me $1 to say, thanks for the video, cool, but yeah, no pressure, I'd much rather if everyone went and spent their money on records, because that's what we're all here for. And I think this will be my last video of the year, so, yeah, keep it fucking blasphemous this festive season. Destroy all wimps and posers. Buy some fucking records for yourself and some loved ones. Make sure they buy them for you. Otherwise, make them motherfuckers leave the hall. Until next year, stay metal.